Hey everybody, PKO Gamer here, and I have not streamed in a long time, and I want to stream this and talk about Endgame because I think it's going to turn around to the point of me rambling like a crazy fucker for a while. I don't think I'll get anybody on the stream here to chat, and it's fine. But what I want to talk about is, well, Endgame. Endgame pissed me off. I have waited to the point of getting it again on digital, watching it and just seeing if I can reconcile some of the shit that I sat there and watched and what didn't make sense. And then when my buddy came back on we have a group text. We've been texting for years, all of us. So three of us went to college. Other fourth buddy, he didn't. He went to college before us. And when all of us finally watched it, because some of us is just like, we'll get to it. Always run out there and watch the latest movie that comes out. He was like, what the fuck happened in Endgame? What is up with this time travel? Why is it doing this? And why is it doing that? Endgame was a culmination of Marvel Cinematic Universes, starting around Iron Man, technically the Incredible Hulk, but those Hulks were broken. If it wasn't for that sequence at the end with the bar and Tony Stark and everything out there, it wouldn't really be in the MCU because really he wasn't the same. Anyway, now we'll get into that. But, yeah. It culminated to the ending of the Infinity Gauntlet saga, and it was a train wreck in some cases. I mean, here's the thing about it. The previously, Infinity War ended. Thanos did his thing. He snapped. Okay, let me stop this real quick. I know some people if you've not watched Endgame, people are waiting for it. I didn't say this. Spoilers, but I'm about ready to go to it. Like I said, if you haven't, my wife is one of them that is gotten behind. She needs to watch some of these. Yeah. If you haven't watched Endgame, you need to watch it. Anyway, what happened? Infinity War. Thanos, quote, won. He snapped. Half of the universe's life go bye-bye. We lost a lot of the, Black Panther. We lost Groot. We lost a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy. We lost, shit. We lost a lot of people. Hawkeye's family and all this stuff. I'm not going to get them all right now. I'm doing this off the cuff, but it was, it was bad. I mean, he won. He got away. So we jump into Endgame. We're sitting there watching Endgame, and the first thing that popped into my head was, why are they're going after Thanos and they immediately kill him? And I even said this out loud, did not hold back. I said, well, movie's over. I guess we need to fucking go home. But then I realized so many years later, and I knew what they were going to do. They knew they were going to come back and do some type of looper, time travel shit. And that's where the movie went off rails. So we go 5 years into it, and the worlds went to shit. And here's something I don't understand. Half the life in the universe goes bye-bye. Okay. Statistically, half of all the criminals, half of the government, half the military, half of would be gone, and it's devastating. But it seems like everybody is still sitting around depressed, and I'm not being a dick. If my family went poof, I would lose my mind, but after 5 years, people have to move on. It seems like they tried to show the world as a super depressed state because the Avengers were depressed. The world is I mean, I'm not trying to sound like it wouldn't be a bad, it would be weird, but the world would have been changed, but it seemed like the world was overly boohoo and depressed. It's like the Avengers are upset, so the world's still upset. I mean, the world needs to be upset, but it just seemed like, I don't know, something was off there. But let's go back, real quick and talk about the beginning of it. They killed Thanos. pow, killed him. And then the 5 years later thing, you know, they're sitting around trying to fix stuff. They're going through this, holographic conference call shit. Oh, Captain Marvel, she got her hair cut. I mean, it looks fine. And here's the problem, and then it's just like, we need to figure out how to fix this. So we will pigeonhole time travel into it with Ant-Man. Okay. And there's where, to me, the movie went off rails. They started throwing out shit theories and shit rules for time travel. And they made fun of Back to the Future, said you can't alter your past, but the Infinity Stones. The problem I have with Endgame, is that they didn't know what they were doing. You have time travel to fix it, but you have time travel that's broken. It contradicts itself. I mean, again, the beginning of it, Thanos snaps the fucking Infinity Stones away. Now I'm looking at this Polygon article, and this Polygon article, I'll go ahead and put it into chat. And they said, "Oh, it makes sense." No, it don't really make sense. It makes sense, but it doesn't. And I'm going to quote the Emperor, the Sorcerer Supreme, the Ancient One. The Infinity Stones create what you experience as the flow of time. Okay? Remove one stone and that flow splits, alternate realities. Now, this may benefit your reality, but my new one, not so much. In this new branch reality, without our chief weapon against the forces of darkness, our world would be overrun and millions would suffer. Tell me, Doctor, can your science prevent all that? When Bruce is trying to get the time stone from her. Okay, so they said you can't alter your past, but then if you take out the Infinity Stones, you can, but it causes branch realities. Okay, fine. Try not to have my eyes crossed. But read that again. The Infinity Stones create what you experience as the flow of time. Remove one stone and it flow splits. How did Thanos destroy all the stones and the flow of time didn't go to shit? How did reality not go to shit? Furthermore, how did he, in their explanation, I've had the Infinity Gauntlet comics way back when. MCU is its own beast, right? It has its own rules, its own whatever. So if Thanos snapped away the stones and the Sorcerer Supreme says, and I quote, the Infinity Stones create what you experience as the flow of time. They create reality. Why did reality and the flow of time just go to shit? Huge loophole. Okay, you could go back in time, but then it says you really can't, Banner's like you can't re-alter stuff, but then you could pick out the stones, which does kind of alter stuff, but it alters stuff because it creates an alternate path. Okay, you cannot alter your past, and then it creates an alternate branch. Okay. But that's where, it goes off the rails. Again, to me, it's like it's complicated. So we go through this entire movie, and the two biggest punches in the gut to me is Thor and Hulk were poorly utilized. Now, Thor going into his depressed state and turning into the geek gamer god of flub is funny. What's funny as hell. What I didn't like is that he never fully recovered. He even grabbed his weapons, which again, he grabbed his hammer from the past, which should have caused another loophole, but I guess going back to the exact time and blah, blah, blah. He grabbed it and still stayed fat. It would have been funny as hell and a better arc if he would have learned, if he would have evolved and said, you know what, I get what they did with him, and it's clever because he could have killed Thanos if he should have went for the head. Remember? He didn't. He blames himself and then he cuts his head off. They lost the stones, blah, 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 blah. And then he went into this, depression. Okay. What's the point of doing that to him? And again, jumping to the end of the movie, he just goes off with Guardians of the Galaxy and gives, the kingdom to what's her name, and I'm blanking because I am pretty tired this morning, but Valkyrie, when they killed off Odin, destroyed Asgard, and even wrote him much more powerful than the Hulk, that he could whip his ass in, Ragnarok, and he had to be, tasered, which, again, why is the God of Thunder be able to be tasered in Ragnarok, whatever. So I was like, okay, as a Hulk fan, I get they can't make Hulk a god. Just like Superman, when they make him a god, it's just boring as shit. But, so you build him up to be, a huge part of the MCU, and then you turn around, and then he becomes a fat, out of shape pity party that ends up going off and giving up his kingdom. What the fuck was that? That was a horrible arc. It was fine that he went down and he was sitting there getting on the gaming, headsets and like, you son of a bitch, and I'm coming after you. It's funny as hell, but he never recovered. Then when he fought Thanos, he got his ass kicked, and fucking Captain America did better. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Then the worst thing as a Hulk fan is this: both movies, Infinity War and Endgame, Hulk was fucking horrible. Okay, he came out and got his ass kicked by Thanos. As a Hulk fan, I get that. Thanos is a badass motherfucker. MCU is not the comics. Hulk of that caliber picked up a fucking mountain chain. Okay? He picked up a fucking mountain chain. That is canon. That is in the comic. But he's not that powerful here. Okay, he got his ass kicked, and then Hulk, Savage Hulk, threw a fucking fit in the first movie and never came out, which they then had, trailers and toys, the Hulkbuster toys, and fucked with everybody. Then you go to Endgame. Let me look this up and I can show everybody this. Hold on a second. Because I showed this to my friends. You have him become the Smart Hulk. Right? Right. You have him become the Smart Hulk because, well, Banner just wanted to have the Smart Hulk. And he becomes nothing more than a attention whore. Okay, fine. It's a little funny. They're trying to be goofy. They're trying to be lighthearted. The Smart Hulk was very powerful. He wasn't as powerful as Savage Hulk, but he was very powerful. Then they get the new stones back. They're going to snap. No, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it. No, bro, you're still drunk. Again, the comedy with Thor, and I was like, okay, fine. And then it goes, Banner does this stupid, I was made for this. It's mostly Gamma. God, I rolled my eyes so heavily, I thought I was going to fall out of my fucking seat in the theater. I'm like, God damn. And then he takes the glove, he snaps it, it burns up his arm. Do you not fucking realize, the writers of the MCU, that Hulk, the Savage Hulk, the Smart Hulk here is, I found it. This is when he fought, I don't know who this is, he's fighting, somebody can figure out the weaker Hulk. He can regenerate. He got burned up here. I don't know where this has come from. It's copyrighted. Let's see if I can pull up the main. There. And he knocks this dude back again. Ouch. He's almost nothing. Wait. Oh, I'll regenerate. Now, okay, someone give me a pair of pants and we can finish this up. Did you fucking forget about that healing regeneration, Marvel? And you just said it was Gamma mostly, so why did the Infinity Gauntlet burn and gip his arm permanently? Another loophole. Sure, when Thanos snapped him away, which again is a horrible loophole that should never happen, that made sense. You destroyed the 6 Infinity Stones, then I would have said, it said that's permanent damage. Okay, fine, if Hulk did that too. I would have been like, fine, but that's a big loophole. Then another problem is you have the other more powerful Avenger, or sort of Avenger. She works, kind of like an Avenger, is Captain Marvel. She's a badass. You don't bring her in until the end. She goes out there, does her shit out in space, does a quick blah blah back and forth with Rocket, has her hair cut, and then she comes in, takes out Thanos' ship instantly, which she should. And then, instead of being there on the battlefield, being around these small group of Avengers, They're doing a time travel hop where she could take Thanos and kick his balls to the back of his fucking skull. She waits and comes in and then beats his ass. He headbutts her. That was one of the best things. And she just looks at him and he goes, oh shit. To where he has to rip the Power Stone out, punch her in the face. Why wasn't she out there doing more right at Thanos? Oh, she had other stuff to do. No. They were trying to fix the fucking universe and repair it and go back. So she's gone. You basically said, okay, we're going to focus on Ant-Man, Hulk, which is a damn joke, Thor, which is a joke, Hawkeye, which is actually very good character arc, Black Widow, which is pretty good character arc, and War Machine, excuse me, and Nebula, that was a good character. You want to focus on this ragtag group, okay, and then the other ragtag group is going to stay out in space. You're going to put your big hitter out in space and never bring her back until the very end, or don't bring her back. What, again, all these little loopholes and things that, they do makes it seem like, okay, the battle, when I had it here on my local TV, and I have a 1,000-watt surround sound system. I finally put one in. I love it. And I saw the battle commence when, they brought everybody back. Goosebumps. It was fucking awesome. Spider-Man come back. Oh, wait, Spider-Man's not the MCU. I got a video that's just uploaded. I got to publish that, too. Everybody come back. Goosebumps. Going, reversing just a little bit because I'm kind of going through the movie in my head as a timeline. Black Widow. That was a very sombering surprise. I went into this movie realizing the Soul Stone had to have a sacrifice. And I didn't see this coming. Again, it was good. That was actually a very good and horrible, how should I say, a horrible sacrifice they had to do. But, Hawkeye had a family. But when it came down to it, they beat Thanos by loopholing the shit out of everything to open up multiple realities so that Gamora comes back but doesn't remember Quill, and then goes off and is a bitch, and they're going after searching for her and everything else. I get the time travel part. The problem that makes this movie so stupid is that they make fun of Back to the Future, they make fun of time travel, yet they cannot cement their own rules. Again, I will read this from the Sorcerer Supreme, the Ancient One. The Infinity Stones create what you experience as a flow of time. Remove one stone, it creates that flow splits. What happens when you take all out? Oh, it don't matter. Shit just keeps going. No. Your entire movie plot was worthless from that moment on. You just shit all over the movie plot. You're sure Polygon is sitting here explaining stuff. They don't see, everybody. The thing about it is every time I talk to people or my friends, or I go online and I read a site, they're all slightly different because the time travel was so broken that people think they know it, but then they don't see the big plot holes where they explain this plot hole away. So then again, toward the end of it, I'm going back to the timeline of the movie. You have the biggest thing, which the man who started the MCU, the big, superstar Tony Stark, ends it by saying, "I am Iron Man." I am inevitable. No, I am Iron Man, and finally fixes everything. That was amazing, fucking amazing. But then you fuck it up by again having a super loophole. I mean, it's sort of a loophole because you say you cannot, if you put, okay, Captain America going back and doing that should have not worked. Because one, Hulk said you couldn't do that. You can't alter your past. Well, he didn't really alter his past because it's still there. Okay, two. But he went back to put these Infinity Stones back so the branches went away. Is this a new branch? But the Infinity Stones are back. It should work, and I love time travel movies. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. Time travel movies are some of my favorite movies of all time. They are. I watched so many of them as a kid. My parents would be like, "Oh my God, he's renting another B-rated time travel movie." But when you sit there and go, "God, you can't do it like Back to the Future," and then he goes back and does a goddamn Back to the Future, that pisses me off. Stop making fun of Back to the Future when that's exactly what the fucker did. I mean, he went back. Yes, he couldn't change his past, but now he loops back around and stays there. I guess I'm very confused. That's why I'm talking it out on a stream. Maybe it makes sense. But it just does. It pisses me off. It pisses me off to the point of it doesn't make sense. When you say you can't do it, you can't alter it unless you mess with the Infinity Stones, which create branches of reality. But wait a minute, if you destroy the Infinity Stones, the flow of reality and time is gone. See, everybody, sites like this can explain it, but really and truthfully, it's not explainable because it's a mess. It's a fucking mess. Infinity War was a good movie, barring the way they treated Hulk. It was a fantastic movie. It's at least a 9 out of 10 in my book. 9.5 almost. The Hulk thing just kind of was like, is okay, but they shouldn't have made him a pussy. He should have came out, fought on the battlefield just like they had in some of the trailers and stuff, but they didn't. Whatever. It still was a good 9 out of 10. Infinity War is barely a 7 out of 10 in my book. I understood they had to go, they did the time travel thing. Okay, they had to fix it. What did they do? Why didn't they have somebody write in solid time travel rules and say, you know what? We're going to go back in time. And it's a one-way trip. Now, the Tony Stark's daughter would have been a casualty, and that's horrible to say, but it's like for Tony Stark to still have a daughter with him and Potts, they just made up stupid rules. And it's sad that they did this going into the legacy of the MCU, but I would have rather seen them just go back in time one time, like go after him, find him. He didn't defeat he's about to get rid of the stones, and he don't know if he can or not. He's been trying to get rid of the stones. Let's say this, because let's make sure your logic is working, Marvel. And then they grab the stones and do something. I mean, make it right. I'm not a writer. And all this ragtag group go back in time, take over their other bodies, and have all the knowledge. And then they recreate the battle. And then say Hulk burst out and said, fuck you. I'm going to fuck you up, Thanos. And have fucking Thor actually kill him the way he should have. On the battlefield in front of everybody. Without sacrificing Tony Stark. That could have worked too. I don't know. I'm not a writer. I'm just saying it's okay the way they did it because the Infinity Stones fuck with reality, time, everything. And, Tony Stark dying, Black Widow dying. I understand what they're doing with it. It's just you create shit rules and you make the movie look stupid. And I'm very disappointed in Endgame, and it pisses me off. So this is my 24-minute rant about it, and I'm glad I did this. I've had up to 3 or 4 people watching. I knew a lot of people wouldn't because I didn't promote it. So thank you for watching. If you disagree with it, want to thumbs down this, that's fine. It's your damn opinion. You're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I know everybody has an opinion about this movie, and I get it. But this movie was disappointing. It could have been a lot better. The build-up was horrible, and they had great moments, and they ruined it with shit mechanics. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you understand it differently than me? Mike Garcia says, Tony Stark never go full time travel. Yeah, I know, Mike. You're watching this here. I'm wrapping it up. I don't know. It's one of these things that I'm not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I know, Mike, Mike Garcia is watching this. I didn't really have much of a chat. I didn't let people know, but let me know what you think in the comments below. I know everybody's going to disagree with what I say. It's fine. It's a movie, but this is what I thought of it. And I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll try to stream a lot more. Maybe I can promote it and let you guys be able to come in and watch it. Maybe even get Cyrus let's do some streams. We need to get with Cyrus and figure out how to do some streams again. Let me know what y'all want to see. I know everybody wants Game Ramblings back, but I don't know if we're going to do it or not. Maybe we can do some special shows and like this, talk about it. All right, everybody. Picky Gamer.